Right here in the middle. Yeah, come on. Let's get in the car. It's almost gone, but shit. We don't have enough. Fuck. Bro. Get out, get out, get out. Tommy, one down in the house, somebody downed him. How do I take off that haptic shit, Carlos? Yeah, I'm about to look it up. This controller, bro. Oh my god, bro. I gotta YouTube this shit. Hold up. It was three niggas trying to get me. What are you trying to take a picture and we lost? What's wrong with you, boy? Why? Hey, I'm about to back up. Hey, I'm gonna let y'all play. I'm about to eat. I'm about to eat.
Government experts and others that they had done that and they had corrupted the election. Those are a bit of two different things.
Yeah, that's also appreciated. Thank you. We booked our next guest to talk pardons, but we would especially like to have him here in light of breaking news right now. Andrew Weissman served as special counsel Robert Mueller's lead prosecutor. He's the author of the new book about it, Where Law Ends Inside the Mueller Investigation. Also with us, the author of many bestsellers, the legendary investigative journalist and senior political analyst Paul Bernstein. Andrew, what is your reaction to the Washington Post reporting about the president and the attorney general?
So I am a little more cynical about Bill Barr. He was perfectly happy to be the amanuensis for the president when the president was riding high. And it's hard to not use the analogy of, rats, fleeing a sinking ship. And now that he's no longer in power, he's willing to separate himself. I think it remains to be seen whether he really pushed back on John Durham, for instance, and really wanted to do the president's bidding. I think there's a lot more to come on that story. So, I think Bill Barr, it's a little too little, way too late to say that he's really becoming some integrity here.
Carl, what would firing the Attorney General during a lame duck presidency actually accomplish?
It would make the base perhaps happy and continue to project the image of Trump as aggrieved and raging. Everything that Trump does is really about himself, his moods, his desires, his selfishness. But what we're really seeing in all the things you talked about on this broadcast tonight is Trump is our first truly subversive president, always subverting the interest of people in the United States, the interest of our national security, the interest of our people and their health and welfare, to his own selfish financial interests, political interests. It's never about the country. And this is one more instance of it. This is all personal. Everything with Trump is personal. And as a result, our national interest has been subverted by a president of the United States in all these areas, including pardons that he's talking about. It's about subverting the national interest for Donald Trump's interest and the interest of his grifter children, his own group. We've never seen anything like this, and it's going to continue. And the people around him, some of them are horrified.
Andrew, I'm just stunned by, time and time again, we've learned this lesson, and anybody who's been in the president's orbit certainly knows this lesson, that no matter how much you genuflect and prostitute yourself to the benefit of to benefit this president, that in the end he will turn on you no matter how much you have degraded yourself. I mean, Jeff Sessions, Barr, all these people, are left in tatters of their, whatever reputations they once had, and the president chews them up and spits them out. That, Barr now, if the president spits them out, he won't even get to make money on the lecture circuit talking to, Trump supporters.
I think that's true, although it's conceivable that Barr did this deliberately to try and actually resurrect his reputation. And also, there are people who actually have sort of played the president correctly. I mean, Roger Stone was convicted by a jury and never spent a day in jail because he made it clear that if he got a pardon, he would not be talking. So there are people who can benefit from having this sort of very corrupt personal interest that's, as Carl said, is really driving what happens in the White House.
And Andrew, you drew a parallel between President Trump's pardon power and the mob. You said mobsters use the threat of whacking potential cooperators to keep everyone in line. The president had the power to pardon to reward those who stayed loyal. When would you make of CNN describing a flurry of pardons expected to come? Do you think it's legal for the president to pardon himself?
I think the issue of his pardoning his friends and family, unfortunately, unless there can be a bribe shown, that is legal because the power is so broad. However, you cannot pardon for state crimes, you cannot pardon for future crimes, and the Supreme Court may have to decide the issue whether you can pardon yourself. Clearly that wasn't contemplated by the framers, but we'll see if that ends up getting tested in the court of law.
Carl, if you're President Trump, you have the powers of the office available to you for the next 49 days. And what do you do? Whom do you protect? Whom do you try to punish? Assuming, of course, he continues to show little to no interest in actually protecting the country from the pandemic.
Well, I think the first person that he wants to protect is probably Paul Manafort, his campaign manager, who was central to Andrew Weissman and Mueller's investigation, and who there is considerable evidence was in contact with Russian principals and others, and passed information from the Trump campaign to the Russians. And I would say that pardon is almost certain, as are the pardons of his grifted children. One of the interesting things about pardon power is, though, it not only doesn't cover future offenses, and that goes to the question of why. That there are going to be a lot of investigations ongoing, both in federal courts, federal U.S. attorneys, I'd imagine, and in state courts, that have to do with Trump people, his family, his advisors, and others. And what the Trump presidency is about is lying, above all else. We've seen it this week, once again. And lying in future investigations is not covered by the pardon power. So the pardon power, it's not absolute. I have no doubt he's going to go ahead with these really unseemly pardons, which speak volumes to who he really is. Back to this idea of a subversive president, willing to subvert the rule of law, national interest, all about himself, and at the same time, I think we're getting a picture that even the craven Republicans, especially in the Senate, are beginning to understand who they have protected all these years, and through this attempted coup, from the final days of the presidency, Trump continues to attempt a coup to undermine democratic elections in our country, and these Republicans continue to enable it. And I think this is going to go, too, to their eternal shame.
I think they long ago realized that they were fucking for.
That's right.
Yeah. Andrew, President Trump claimed in that rambling propaganda video that we're not showing that the same people who failed to get him in Washington have sent every piece of information to New York so they can try and get him there. Is he right to worry about the New York investigations into his family business? Or, do you think he's right to worry?
I certainly would be. I mean, it remains to be seen whether the Manhattan District Attorney's Office makes that case, but a federal pardon will have zero effect on a state investigation, whether it's tax fraud, bank fraud, money laundering. All of that could be brought against Donald Trump, his children, his businesses, and of course you can't pardon yourself out of civil liability. So those are all things to worry about. But one thing that's important to note is, in spite of the president talking about, this is just retaliation, criminal cases have to be proved to a jury of civilians beyond a reasonable doubt. Proof is required. This is not a question of just retaliation. This is a question of, whether someone has all the proof that can support those charges.
Well, Bernstein and Weissman, appreciate it. Thanks so much for being on the show. More next on President Trump thinking these days with his flow tweets, and now you have self-serving video. We touched on. I'll speak with the man who wrote the book that helped make him a celebrity from his force.
It's all possible. Let's go!
Jimmy Channel is here. It's been calm, groundbreaking, marvelous, a perfect holiday movie. Share it with your family.
The cashback you receive on every purchase. No wonder the ratings are so high. I use Beef Google for clothes, travel, and gift shopping. We furnished our entire condo with Beef Google, the kitchen, the living room, and
We got $534 cash back.
And you get paid fast by check, gift card, PayPal, or even direct deposit. Join now for free and get a $10 welcome bonus. Well, ciao!
The owner of that bar was arrested for publicly defying the lockdown put in place by the governor of that state. The bar owner spoke just a few minutes ago. Nearly 2,000 people showed up outside his bar to protest his arrest. And as we said, many of us were gathered at this hour to keep an eye on it. Haven't seen anything like it before. Well, it's no secret, and of course we're told every day by the New York Times, that dangerous far-right militants have been emboldened since Election Day. Businesses in right-wing strongholds like Washington, D.C. and Portland, Oregon have been boarded up, terrorized at what might come. On Wednesday, our worst fears came to pass. A former president of the United States, and indeed a member of the Democratic Party, came out as a proud member of the alt-right, and he did it on the internet, on a political show, without any hesitation at all. Watch that.
I guess you can use a snappy slogan like defund the police, but you know you've lost a big audience the minute you say it, which makes it a lot less likely that you're actually going to get the changes you want done. The key is deciding, do you want to actually get something done, or do you want to feel good among the people you already agree with?
Yeah, you'd like to defund the police, but just don't tell anybody. Just don't say it out loud. That's Barack Obama's advice. People were very offended, though. People in Obama's base, Ayanna Pressley, a member of Congress, was shocked. She responded on Twitter this way, quote, "Lives are at stake daily, so I'm out of patience with the critiques of the language of activists." Ilhan Omar, resident genius in the House of Representatives, wrote this, quote, "Defund the police is not a slogan, but a policy demand." They're sitting in Congress like actual members. But as usual, no one was more shocked than the cast of The View. They tracked all of their Barack Obama memorabilia, the memoirs, any memoirs, the newspaper clippings, even the Yes We Can coloring books. And then, consumed by fury, they went on the air.
You know, I'm always loath to criticize President Obama because I'm such a fan, but I do think he's wrong here. And when you think about defund the police, that's not a term that was crowdsourced or tested in focus groups. You know, that's a term that was born, a rallying cry that was born out of this over-policing of black and brown communities. I think, you know, President Obama was a community organizer, and I really think that he, knows better.
Yeah, the rich ladies are mad. Rich ladies are always mad, especially ones on TV. But in this case, they make a fair point. A community organizer should have known better. Have our standards for community organizers fallen too far? Mark Stein is a resident expert on community organizers, picking ones who become far-right Netflix producers. It's a small group, and he knows them well, and joins us tonight. So it's Sass. What do you make of this, Mark Stein?
Well, first, I don't want to live in any community organised by community organisers, so include me out on that front. To be honest, I think this is part of a kind of good cop defunder, bad cop defunder routine. Obama stands there and he does this rather bloodless professorial thing, and the radical ladies get all mad at him. And this is rather like what he was doing 10 years ago, when he was officially opposed, as you may recall, to same-sex marriage. And everybody in his own party pretended to believe him, instead of understanding it for what it was, a political thing. And we're going to see a lot more of this. I don't buy this whole idea that the Democrat Party, Joe Biden has to juggle these, the moderate wing of his party, and then all these radicals like Ilhan Omar. They're laughing at us with this good cop defunder, bad cop defunder routine. That is strictly for public consumption. They're serious about power, and whether or not they agree on any particular policy position, they agree on all the elements of power, which is why they're still busy, as in, what was that county Lisa was talking about? Shenanigan County in New York. I never even heard of that. Why they're still seriously driving boxes of uncounted ballots around. This sort of fake tension between elements of the party is actually the opposite of what's going on. They're fairly united. Joe Manchin and Ilhan Omar are both serious about power, and that's what binds them.
So smart. It does make you miss Bill Clinton, who was obviously a habitual liar, but when he lied, it was transparent. He knew he was lying, and he knew it. You could tell he felt a little bad. There's something terrifying about the coldness with which Obama tells lies. It's harder to perceive, it's therefore more effective. I find it scary.
Yeah, it's that whole detached, bloodless, I'm Mr. Spock, I've just landed from planet Zongo routine. And I can understand why that's not the kind of guy the ladies on The View warm up to. But they don't have to worry about anything. They're all in lockstep on this stuff.
It's interesting, and this is a whole separate topic, and we really should do a whole show on it. But why are the most privileged in our society the envious? Have you ever wondered that?
Well, I think it is actually a revolt against the masses. I think actually it's a problem, if you like, with meritocracy, because it's not like you're simply the son of the duke, so you're born to rule. These people think they should be ruling because they're the best. And I think that gives them an arrogance about how they think of the people who aren't the best.
Yeah. It's very hard to have a democracy with people like that in charge because they just don't believe it. Very much time. Thank you for your
Thanks a lot, Tucker.
analysis. We're monitoring the protests still underway outside that bar in Staten Island. Protests against the governor and the mayor's new Corona law. Plenty of police standing outside in that picture. Lots of news tonight. We've got more straight ahead.
Your cat gets bored and wants to play, but that can mean trouble when you're away. Now, reel in the fun with Flippity Fish, the exciting new cat toy that keeps Kitty entertained all day with hours of play. Just like a fish out of water, Flippity Fish's realistic flopping action instantly attracts your cat's inner hunter. They'll pounce, they'll prey. It's a natural instinct that never goes away. It's motion activated, so when Kitty gets near, the flopping fun automatically turns on. The tail speeds up and slows down, surprising Kitty when she least expects it, so she'll never get bored. Old cats get fat, and that's not healthy, but Flippity Fish's non-stop fun will turn even lazy Kitty into crazy Kitty. No matter your cat's age, it will be as playful as a kitten again. Made with strong, durable material, Flippity Fish can withstand the most ferocious attack. Even when Kitty catches the fish, it keeps flopping around. There's even a catnip pouch. Fill it for even more feline fun. Night or day, it will occupy Kitty for hours of play. Then when it's time for Kitty's nap, it turns off automatically. It flips, it flops, it gives Kitty a safe place to play instead of tearing the house away. Act now and get your Flippity Fish for just $19.99. But wait, as a special bonus, you'll get the Flippity Fishing Pole absolutely free. Just attach to Flippity Fish and cast to your cat. Your entire family can reel in on the fun. Order now and we'll double the offer, just pay a separate fee. We'll even ship your entire order for free. That's 2 complete sets and free shipping for just $19.99. A perfect gift for any cat lover. So don't be a fish out of water. Order your Flippity Fish now.
To order, call 1-800-485-6503 or go online at flippityfish.com. No delay, call 1-800-485-6503 or go online at flippityfish.com. Order now.
Attention everyone on Medicare. Did you know that right now is the annual enrollment period for all Medicare recipients? Everyone on Medicare is encouraged to call 800-454-1178 now for your free, no obligation Medicare benefits review. Now is the time during the Medicare annual enrollment period to see if you are eligible to save money and get additional benefits at little to no additional cost. You don't get these savings or additional benefits automatically, so make sure you call now during the Medicare annual enrollment period to make sure you are getting all the benefits you deserve. If you're not sure you're on the best plan for you, just call the number on your screen now for your free, no obligation Medicare benefits review. Call before the December 7th deadline. You may be able to save money and receive additional benefits. You may also be eligible for a plan that includes additional benefits like home prescription delivery and expanded at-home telehealth visits. Just call 800-454-1178 now to find out if you're eligible for a Medicare Advantage plan that includes additional benefits like free hearing aids, free eyeglasses, free meal delivery, and free rides to medical appointments. You may also be eligible for $0 monthly premiums, $0 deductibles, or $0 copays. Just call the toll-free number on your screen now to see if you qualify for additional benefits, including dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drugs. There is no obligation to enroll. The call and Medicare benefits review are absolutely free. If you're not sure if you're on the best plan for you, just call the number on your screen now for your free free, no obligation Medicare benefits review. You don't get these savings and additional benefits automatically, so call before the December 7th deadline. You may be able to save money and receive additional benefits. Call 800-454-1178. 800-454-1178.
There's never been a better time to experience SiriusXM. Exclusive channels, every kind of music, and so much more. For a limited time, subscribe for $5 a month for 12 months, plus get a free upgrade to our Best package and a free Echo Dot to listen at home. Visit SiriusXM.com for offer details and discover what's waiting for you.
It's time to forget your worries and escape to a place where the water is warm, the people are even warmer, and there are 1,000 worry-free moments waiting to unfold. Call 1-800-SANDALS.
During this pivotal moment,
Can't just have Democrats thinking the election is kosher. You want the rest of the country to believe that too. Everybody has reason to be suspicious of this.
get the opinion you won't hear anywhere else from the 5 you can trust. Don't miss the 5 weeknights on Fox News Channel.
As we go out tonight, live pictures from outside Max Public House in Staten Island, shut down by the state of New York. Demonstration underway. Police dispatched law enforcement to keep people from defying the lockdown order. Should note, the police were told to stand down when BLM rioters broke into Macy's for a 5-finger discount on Jimmy Choo. But when someone goes on Fox to complain about the lockdowns, they show up in force. Tells you everything. Have the best night. We'll be back tomorrow. In the meantime, from New York, Sean Hannity, right now. All right, Tucker. Now, by the way, if you need a place for you and your family on Christmas, I got a hideaway bunker. The government will never find us. You're welcome to join us. The whole family can join us. That sounds like fun. Christmas in a bunker. I'm there. What do we do if we don't want the government to tell us, exactly what to do? Everybody now knows what the rules are. Everyone has assessed the risk. And of course we got to protect the sick and the elderly. We're doing that. And people hopefully will listen. But you have a place at our Christmas table. The whole family. We may shock you. Thank you, Sean. All right, Tucker, thank you. Good coverage. Welcome to Hannity. Tonight we're tracking multiple breaking stories. This weekend, the president's going to hit the campaign trail. He's going to be in the state of Georgia, 2 runoff Senate races. This, Georgia, the world, the weight of the world is on your shoulders. We need you. Balance of power in the U.S. Senate is at stake. Make no mistake. Critical to Senate runoffs. Democrats up to their usual tricks. Now a group founded by Stacey Abrams under investigation tonight. They're trying to register out-of-state voters and eligible voters, even apparently dead voters. We're going to have a full report tonight. And later, James O'Keefe joins us, an exclusive interview, brand new tapes, never seen before, exposing more corruption, more dishonesty, more abusive bias at fake news CNN. Oh, Humpty Dumpty's network. And tonight's exclusive tape is far beyond anything you've seen before. I'll also bring you the very latest on the protests that Tucker was just showing in Staten Island, where that former bar owner was arrested for refusing to close his pub during the pandemic. But first, unlike the media mob, unlike big tech companies, we don't censor the president on this show. We never will. They didn't vet Obama and the mob? No. They didn't do anything. They protected him. They lied about Russia. They advanced conspiracy theories on this program. We got it all right. We've been vindicated. We've dug deep for 3 years. We've been exposing Biden family financial corruption since 2018 when Secret Empires, Peter Schweizer's book, came out. 2018 we started. The mob, they covered it up all through the election and beyond. We vetted Obama. They helped him hide. They now ignore real whistleblowers. I thought they loved them. They've celebrated one anonymous hearsay whistleblower as a great, courageous patriot that we've got to praise and admire and protect. All these whistleblowers that, under the penalty of perjury, have signed legal affidavits, they don't want to talk about them. They don't want to cover them. They don't want to interview them. We will tonight, exclusively, coming up on this show. But we start with the President of the United States, Donald Trump, who has an important message about November's election. Said maybe the most important speech. Let's go to part of that speech.
We used to have what was called Election Day. Now we have election days, weeks and months, and lots of bad things happen during this ridiculous period of time, especially when you have to prove almost nothing to exercise our greatest privilege, the right to vote. As president, I have no higher duty than to defend the laws and the Constitution of the United States. That is why I am determined to protect our election system, which is now under coordinated assault and siege. For months leading up to the presidential election, we were warned that we should not declare a premature victory. We were told repeatedly that it would take weeks, if not months, to determine the winner, to count the absentee ballots, and to verify the results. My opponent was told to stay away from the election. Don't campaign. We don't need you. We've got it. This election is done. In fact, they were acting like they already knew what the outcome was going to be. They had it covered, and perhaps they did, very sadly for our country. It was all very, very sad.
We're going to post this all on Hannity.com. Yeah, we remain independent. We're not going to follow the mob. We never have, we never will. Now, the President's right. We have a duty to investigate every legitimate claim of fraud and abuse. Every American should be shocked by what we heard to the core from witness after witness these last 2 days. We told you. Now, remember Kayleigh McEnany came on every night since election night, showing you these piles of papers. They're called legal affidavits under the penalty of perjury. That's actually called evidence. In a trial, a murder trial, you have an eyewitness. That's called evidence. That testimony can bring a guilty verdict. Now, coming up, we're going to bring you more allegations from credible whistleblowers who will join us. They'll come forward to share their first-hand accounts. We'll let you decide. This includes several poll watchers, pretty spectacular, scary stories. Also, tonight, just moments ago, we heard even more compelling testimony from the state of Michigan, starting with these remarks from the Trump campaign attorney, Rudy Giuliani, who will also join us tonight. Take a look.
Everything I'm presenting to you, I'm presenting as a lawyer, these are the words of other people. And in your case, in the state of Michigan, people who are citizens in your state, who observed fraud. And I must say, observed fraud on what I would consider, I would also consider myself an expert on prosecuting fraud, I would consider a massive amount of evidence. And they allege massive cheating, particularly on the part of the Democrat Party of Detroit.
Upholstery the mayor's claims, several, yes, eyewitnesses, whistleblowers coming forward sharing alarming accounts of these irregularities in the state of Michigan, including this poll worker from Detroit. Take a look.
So basically what they are doing is entering all these ballots in the computer so they can count those ballots. That's what I thought. But they are not following the procedure. They are receiving the ballot and also backdating.
The supervisor you originally had when you first were there, did you observe her coaching voters to vote for Biden and the Democrat ticket?
Yes, when I am entering the ballot, when they are telling me to enter November 2nd, or the date to be received November 2nd or November 4th, which date I will initial on the ballot? November 4th or November 2nd? I couldn't do it.
So how would you describe how they treated you and how you reacted to it?
It is, they treated me like a criminal. They humiliated me, harassed me, so intimidating. I mean, I couldn't. It was so bad.
Hundreds of people signing legal affidavits. You ask yourself, did that woman's testimony, you find it compelling? I did. You find her credible? I found her credible. You find her believable? I found her believable. Hundreds of them. These, by the way, they're not hearsay whistleblowers like the one that the Democrats were praising during the Ukrainian impeachment hoax. That was literally a hearsay whistleblower. Courageous and brave and patriotic. should be protected. During that witch hunt, Democrats, the mob, the media, they demanded we honor that bravery, that courage, all of the hearsay opinion whistleblowers, and take that one claim, that anonymous person, very seriously. You might remember.
This whistleblower, who I want to say is a patriot, because what he did is he said, listen, I saw something during my time, right? I have a responsibility to inform, and I'm going to follow the proper channels.
First, let's applaud them for their patriotism, because in spite of the fact that the President of the United States, who is also the Commander-in-Chief, has attempted to smear them and threaten them, they still have had the courage, I believe, based on love of country, to come forward and let the American people know what really happened.
I'd just like to say to these whistleblowers and potential whistleblowers, you are the patriots. You're the ones who care about this country.
You're not going to disparage this whistleblower. This person has been deemed credible and a patriot by your own Director of National Intelligence and the Inspector General.
And I want to thank the whistleblower for their courage.
Phony, feigned, hypocrisy on a level that is just, I guess, now to be expected. Flash forward to today, we have hundreds of real whistleblowers, hundreds. And by the way, with first-hand evidence, many actually signing sworn affidavits under the penalty of perjury, and all are putting their names, reputations on the line, and they're willing to bravely come forward. But the media mob, the Democrats, they want no part of them. They won't even air it. Now, you know, that doesn't benefit them politically. Is that the only reason? Just like Hillary's dirty Russian dossier didn't benefit them? Just like premeditated fraud on the FISA court didn't impact their candidate or their president. Just like a real quid pro quo with Joe and zero experience Hunter, and corruption in Ukraine, Kazakhstan, China, Russia, that didn't bother them either. Total, completely ignoring what are very serious allegations of election fraud and abuse. And it's not just Michigan, it's Nevada. We're now told that 15 deposed witnesses will be coming forward with their allegations in the next day, including claims that over 130,000 votes in that state were counted illegally. Now, for example, one whistleblower claiming that over 40,000 people actually voted twice, 23,000 ballots were mailed to out-of-state voters, that's illegal, 44,000 ballots passed from residential, non-existent addresses, 1,500 from people voting from beyond the grave. And tomorrow, that will be televised, that court proceeding, detailing these accusations. We'll have all the details here. We stay independent. This comes as a brand new legal challenge. Already states that 40,000 votes in the state are tainted with issues. Keep in mind that Registrar in Clark County reported hundreds of ballot discrepancies, including inadvertently canceling votes, instances, people voting twice. Upstate New York, a congressional race separated by 12 votes. The Republican is leading. Hanging in the balance. Why today they magically found 55 more uncounted ballots. They just turned up today. 11 of those ballots were likely from unregistered voters, so that means 44 new ballots will be counted. Wonder if it'll lean Democrat. In Pennsylvania, Katie McEnany reporting last night, the ballot acceptance rate. Now look at this. Mail-in ballots was 27 times greater than it was in 2016. 27 times. They didn't use the same standards. Senator Ted Cruz pushing rightly for a U.S. Supreme Court decision to get involved in another aspect of the Constitution as it relates to mail-in balloting in Pennsylvania. He has a good case, good point. He points out Democrats in Pennsylvania unilaterally, unconstitutionally, change state election laws that are contradicting the Constitution of Pennsylvania to benefit Biden. That would include Pennsylvania's reliance on mail-in ballots, some of which were counted way beyond the state deadline. In a statement, Cruz said, this appeal argues Pennsylvania cannot change the rules in the middle of the game. And don't forget, before becoming a U.S. Senator, Ted Cruz successfully brought cases before the U.S. Supreme Court. That is a serious case. And breaking moments ago, Republican lawmakers in Pennsylvania called on the state's governor there to convene a special emergency session of the General Assembly focused on election oversight and integrity. We'll always continue to bring you these instances of irregularities We will remain independent. We answer only to the truth. We follow only the evidence, only the facts, the good, the bad, the ugly. Quite frankly, the way this election was conducted in multiple states was beyond ugly. It's corrupt. It shouldn't take weeks and weeks to count and find ballots. You can't have batches of uncounted ballots showing up here, there, and everywhere. We shouldn't be using voting machines that Democrats, the media, and Republicans all criticized. Didn't think they were good. We shouldn't rely on widespread mail-in ballots. We shouldn't have elections in perpetuity. We should look at the Jimmy Carter, James Baker report after the 2000 debacle. Even the New York Times, they all said, yeah, the greater odds of voter fraud there. Seems pretty obvious, but partisan election observers also, according to law, ought to be able to watch the vote counting up close from start to finish. That didn't happen in any state. Here to share their stories. Two poll watchers who are now blowing the whistle. And we have Greg Benstramas with us, 2020 poll watcher from the state of Pennsylvania, and Braden Giacobazzi, who is a poll watcher from the state of Michigan. I hope I said that right. And by the way, Christina Caromo is back with us. We had a hard time getting her up last night. We wanted to finish with her. We'll get back to all of you here in a second. Well, Christina, let me start with you because you were yesterday, and I want you to finish. You had so much to say, and so many people commented to me about your appearance last night.
Yeah, it's really interesting, a lot of the hatred that I've received. I've been involved in politics. I've debated politicians on a local network before, so I've got insults and hate, and so I'm used to that. I don't really care. But what bothers me is people calling me a liar. That's what's upsetting to me. I'm a citizen who's looking out for the best interest of my nation, and I'm trying to warn my other fellow citizens of what's happening. And people are just so consumed with their irrational hatred for Donald Trump. They forget that there were local elections on that ballot as well. We had Senate races, we had John James, we had our congressional races, we had all types of races on that ballot that also been compromised as well. And those local elections impact us even more because those are the people who make direct decisions that impact our day-to-day lives. And so people are so consumed with hatred for Donald Trump that they're ignoring these horrible election irregularities. And it's frustrating, and we're just trying to tell people what's happening, and they're just roundly dismissing us all as a bunch of liars because they're so consumed with their hatred for Donald Trump. And if we don't have integrity of our elections, I've talked to people who said, I'm not going to vote again after this. Because they feel like they have no voice, they feel like they have no power, so why bother to go to the voter roll? What will be to the polls? And this is what's going to happen. And if our Americans don't speak up, we're going to have a nation where we have no power. Our founders created a nation to empower the everyday citizens. That's why they left Europe. They didn't want a monarchy. And people are literally cheering for us to create this monarchy in our nation where we have no authority as citizens. That's going to be dangerous.
I hope you've considered hosting a show because I think you'd be great at it, to be honest. Very well said, and thank you for telling us everything you saw and the importance of it. Greg, you testified in the Pennsylvania legislature hearing in Gettysburg. You talked about USB cards that were uploaded to voting machines are missing. You talked about that would impact as many as 120,000 votes, and witnessed these being uploaded at least 24 times without any poll watcher. Can you just tell us what you saw?
Sure. There was a couple of different components. The USB sticks are used in the voting machines. They come out of the scanners and they're used to upload into computers at the counting center. That's how the precincts report in and the counts go up. So those USB sticks are all supposed to come back with the ballots, with the cartridge, with paper tapes by the election judges. They're all supposed to come into the voting center. What we found was a bunch of baggies that came in. USB sticks and the paper tapes and the cartridges were all taken apart, commingled. It was a frankly destructive process. But 396 precincts reported supposedly that night. And the next morning and the day after and the day after, the voting machine warehouse supervisor, I witnessed him 24 plus times, with 24 sticks actually, uploading votes from USB sticks. I objected. I brought law enforcement over. We brought the clerk of elections over, and they said, "You're an observer. There's nothing you can do." And I said, "He's not part of the process." After he finished uploading them, the sticks made them update the vote. and the difference was 50,000 votes for Vice President Biden. That was 50,000. The mail-in ballots, we had to file a court order through the Homicide Law Project, helped us, the Thomas More Society helped us file a lawsuit. We had to get an order from a common pleas judge. He allowed us to get in for 5 minutes every 2 hours. It took us 3 days to enforce the order, even though it only took a day to get the order. By the time we got back there, all the mail-in ballots had already been counted. We had a universe of 126,000 mail-in ballots, 120,000 of which had been counted. When we got back there, myself and Democrat poll watchers as well, we found 70,000 unopened mail-in ballots. We don't know where they went. We don't know why they weren't counted, but we can't figure out why there were 70,000 unopened ballots. So in a nutshell, we had 50,000 USB votes, 7,000 mail-in ballots, and then we had, in addition to having a forensically destructive process, all custody sheets are gone now as well. And as of today, there's today, there were 47 USB sticks missing, and now we understand there's 64 USB sticks missing, which comprises thousands of votes, which are now in question. That's it. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Greg. Thank you for telling your story. And you also signed a legal affidavit, correct? Under the perjury.
Yes.
And you know that if you lie in that affidavit, that's perjury, right?
That is true.
Let me go to Braden. Braden, thank you. I think I might have butchered your name. If I did, I apologize. Please forgive me. You told your experience about voter intimidation, how hostile people were to GOP observers, the room erupting with cheers. Why don't you tell us about your story?
So I am an unaffiliated voter. I'm not a GOP person, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, but I got called in, or I received a note that said that they received a bunch of ballots in the middle of the night and they didn't have enough people. So I got trained by the GOP and they brought me in, and the first thing that you noticed after just being in there just a little while was the animosity that you felt from a lot of the poll workers. And shortly after getting into the room, they started boarding up the windows and they kicked a bunch of us out under the guise of lunch. So they used lunch as an excuse to get people out of the room, and then they locked the doors and wouldn't let them back in. And there was no food for the Republican poll watchers. But that's small potatoes compared to what you see next, which is throughout the day, they wielded COVID as a weapon to keep you 6 feet away from the table so that you couldn't do your job. They picked us off one by one throughout the day to uproarious laughter and cheers from almost the entire room. There's video of it online. You can hear how loud the cheering is, and you can't hear the derogatory and sometimes racial remarks that were slurred at us as we got kicked out of the room. So by the end of the day, there weren't enough of us left. So there's about 150 tables in that room, give or take. And by the end of the day, there's only a few dozen of us left to look at the tables and make sure that we're challenging the ballots. And one of the things that I noticed by the end of the day, a stack of at least 35 challenge ballots with challenge stickers on them were at the table that I was at, and I noticed that they were on several other tables as well, so I assume that what I'm about to tell you happened at other tables as well. But I noticed one, because they had the challenge sticker on them because they weren't in the poll books. So these could have been fictitious voters, all of them, and there was no way to prove that they were the people that they were saying, that they were just pushing them through. And so they would enter them into the poll book, into the digital poll book, as 1/1/1900 for the birthday, and then they would give it an address and a name, and there was no way for us to check or know or validate anything that they were doing there. And they could have just been entering any fictitious name they wanted. And every time we would try and go in and check or challenge it, they would laugh at us. And they would say, "You can't do that, you can't challenge this." And then somebody would immediately swarm in, some Democrat operative or some poll worker operative, or a supervisor would come in, and then another supervisor. Pretty soon, I was swarmed by three to six people. And they're all telling me, "Get away, you're going to kill my people," wielding this COVID as a weapon. One of them actually said, "You're holding the pen the wrong way, and you're threatening people with the way that you're holding your pen." It was absurd. And so they hear me? They separate me from the table.
Braden, you're not the only person, Braden, that saw the birthday of 1/1/1900. You're not the only person that is, and you signed a legal affidavit under the penalty of perjury, correct?
Sure. Sure, but when I would try and challenge things that were clearly inaccurate, like a mismatched ballot, I saw a mismatched ballot as well. They would laugh at you and say you can't do that, and immediately a Democrat operative who was standing in the background would come in and start trying to agitate you and get you really worked up. Now, I'm an engineer, I'm pretty logical, I'm pretty methodical, so I made it about 10 hours, and this Democrat operative comes up to me and starts, accusing me of COVID stuff, giving me the COVID runaround, and by the time 6 people show up, start all saying the same thing, then he just kind of melts back into the background, just with a satisfied look on his face, knowing that he has caused me a problem. So now, the table supervisor comes up to me and says, give you the COVID runaround, and he starts muttering something to me about playing with him that made me super uncomfortable, and then he said something to the effect of, I will kick your ass or I will kick you out of here. And I looked at him quizzically and I said, what did you just say to me? And he said it again and again, and I said, I raised my voice and I said, are you threatening me? Because I wanted to make sure that other people would notice this. And as I did this, he waved the cop over without questioning. The cop just took me out of there, and I went peacefully. And this is how it went for everyone that was a GOP lanyard person in that room that night. And when I got kicked out, just like with everybody else, I got thunderous applause, cheering at me, just like everybody else throughout all the after 10 hours.
That should not happen to legal partisan observers that have the right to be there. Thank you for sharing your story, all three of you. Thank you all. All right, when we come back, Haley McEnany, Rudy Giuliani is speaking right now at the hearing. He'll join us live as soon as that ends. Haley will give us her update. All coming up next. And also Senator Kennedy, what's at stake in Georgia, James O'Keefe, new tapes about fake news CNN, all straight ahead.
Is brought to you by Quercetin HPP, powerful cold relief without raising your blood pressure.
Are you okay?
Oh, it's just a cold. If you have high blood pressure, a cold is not just a cold. Most cold medicines may raise blood pressure. Choose Quercetin HPP, the brand with a heart, for powerful cold relief without raising your blood pressure.
Hey, I'm Nick. We created Gabi because most people overpay for car insurance. Gabi is a free tool that saves you money by finding the best deal. Gabi saves users over $800 a year on average. Go to Gabi.com and stop overpaying for car insurance.
Experience the power of sanctuary at the Lincoln Wishlist Sales Event. Sign and drive off in the new Lincoln with $0 down, 0 down signing and complimentary first month payment.
Hello, I'm Mike Liddell, inventor of MyPillow. For a limited time, you can get premium MyPillows for the lowest price ever. Regularly $69.98, now only $29.98 with your promo code. That's a $40 savings. 15 years ago, I invented MyPillow. I made sure that you could adjust my patented fill so that you could have the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of your sleep position. I also wanted a pillow that stays healthy, so I made MyPillow machine washable and dryable. I back MyPillow with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Not only that, I do all my own manufacturing in my home state of Minnesota. I personally guarantee that MyPillow will be the most comfortable pillow you'll ever own.
For a limited time, you can get a premium MyPillow for the lowest price ever. Regularly $69.98, now only $29.98. That's a $40 savings with your promo code.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world is MyPillow.com.
Attention! Do you have Medicare? Did you know that you may qualify to get up to $144 added back to your Social Security check every month? It's easy to see if you're eligible. Just call the Go Medicare Benefits Help Center at 800-946-8120. In addition to receiving $144 every month, you might also qualify for a $0 Medicare Advantage plan that includes the following benefits: dental, including fillings, exams, and dentures; vision, including exams, frames, lenses, and even contacts; hearing, including hearing aids and batteries; and prescription drug coverage, all at no additional cost. The Go Medicare Benefits Help Center is open now at 800-946-8120. Both the call and the consultation are 100% free with absolutely no obligation to enroll. Call the Go Medicare Benefits Help Center now at 800-946-8120. That's 800-946-8120.
Peacock's got a new season of Yellowstone. Every road is right here. New faces. New foes. That man is mine. New feuds. You think you're really skewed or nothing you want? Old scars. I won't betray you. New threats. They have big plans for this family. All 3 seasons. That's why you can't not watch. This family is mine. Let me give you. That's mine too. Experienced customers get to watch it all. Just say Peacock into your voice remote. It's under the wire. The team's been working around the clock. We've got to rethink the whole approach. We're going to do togetherness. Logistically, it's going to make it. I'm not sure it's going to work. Tell them, look. I didn't know you were listening.
Breaking tonight, the president and his team, his campaign, have filed a lawsuit in Wisconsin in his personal capacity. That is in addition to the very strong suit that was filed yesterday. Joining us now with more and updating us on everything is Kayleigh McEnany. I need to go back to one thing. You've been on a lot since Election Day. And you have come on this program and you've shown this audience all the affidavits. And you told us what is in it. And you've been called a liar by the mob and the media. You never lied. Now we're hearing directly from people. That's called evidence. That's actually introduced in real trials in America. Let's get an update where we are. Let's do a little whip. We have a new development in Nevada tonight.
Yeah, very important, Sean. You've hit the most important case because you're exactly right. You know, we were told that these were blank affidavits in these binders. They weren't. They were under penalty of perjury. Then we were told, well, these people don't exist. Well, they do because we've heard from them on your show, these whistleblowers. Now tomorrow, it's the next step. This is the first lawsuit where you are going to hear from these voters under oath in a courtroom. We are allowed to bring cameras into this, so at 12 p.m. tomorrow in a Nevada courtroom, you will hear from these witnesses under oath. More than that, even these witnesses saying someone voted in my name, you will hear from experts who say, I've dug into this. Expert witnesses who have been deposed by Perkins Cooley and these leftist attack dogs, survived those depositions, and are going to say, we found 103,709 ballots, down to the number that we believe were illegal ballots. So you will hear all of that tomorrow, live on television, in Nevada, and these people will speak yet again for all of the world to see.
Ted Cruz was one of Alan Dershowitz's best students at Harvard. He said it on this program. He's argued successfully before the Supreme Court. He laid out the constitutional issue in Pennsylvania that I find extraordinarily compelling, how they violated their own constitution with a late change in the law. If the Supreme Court takes that could change things. That, in my view, that is a real case.
It's a big deal. Ted Cruz is an expert litigator who's been involved in election litigation for a very long time, knows his stuff. The case he's referring to is from Congressman Mike Kelly. He succeeded on the merits at the Commonwealth level. This is the middle-level court. Succeeded on the merits. It went up to the Nevada Supreme Court, which we know is 5-2 Democrat, who dismissed it. But it's a lawsuit. That's exactly right. Pennsylvania court, I should say. But notably, they didn't dismiss it on the merits. They just said, oh, wait, you brought this too late. So they had no arguments on the merits. And Ted Cruz is exactly right. The Supreme Court should take this up. It could be a game changer. It's one of the best lawsuits out there outside of Nevada and our Wisconsin state suit.
Well, I mean, if the court takes it, the Constitution is clear. This is a clear violation. That's what also makes the Wisconsin lawsuit yesterday in particular, I have not had time to review today's, such a strong case also.
Yeah, that's exactly right.